Welcome back. The crisis in the Edo State Labour Party seemed to be taking another dimension after some national leaders of the party were manhandled. In the video that went viral, the men suspected to be members of the Labour Party ahead challenging the victims for coming to their state. The visitors are reported in the state, had reported in the state ahead of the convention scheduled for Saturday, that's December the 30th. Meanwhile, the spokesperson of the Akpata-led group of the Labour Party, Mr. Arabambi, has accused the Edo State Publicity Secretary, Mr. Sam Oropa, of spearheading the attack. Mr. Arabambi alleges that the leaders were beaten up and manhandled when they went to prepare for Saturday's event. He also accused Mr. Olumide Akpata, who is a contender in the race for the ticket, of not calling his men to order. Mr. Arabambi also promised to report the attack on the group leaders to the security agents. So that's what we're going to be discussing right now on the program. Well, those were the videos you saw, some of the things that happened in Edo State, which is the basis for our conversation. It's going to be two parts, a conversation as far as Edo Labour Party issues are concerned. I'm being joined right here in our Lagos studio by the man I did mention his name in my intro, Mr. Arabambi of the Labour Party. Thank you so much for coming on the program. And
thank you so much. Good evening, Nigeria community of citizen. Thank you for inviting me here.
Joining us via Zoom, the chairman of Edo Labour Party, Mr. Kelly Ogbaloy. Mr. Ogbaloy, thank you so much for joining us. Okay, I understand. I thought Mr. Kelly was standing by. Apparently, we couldn't get in. Let me start with you, Mr. Arabambi, on this particular issue. Tell us exactly because when we see viral videos, a lot of people will say different things. And so explain to us what exactly happened in those videos.
Well, thank you very much. We thank God today because probably we will have more killings with the one that happened in Plateau State of recent. And today, we are somehow very shocked that we have two people who today will be calling themselves lawyers and who are supposed to know the law, but they deliberately choose to stand on it. I am making reference to the former NBA president, who I am highly disappointed in, and Julius Aburi. Though I know that one, he has never attended court session ever since when I know him, but he also called himself a lawyer. But I want the NBA to actually help us to look into these two characters about what happened today. Mr. Olumide Akpata is fully aware.
I would appreciate not disparaging anybody. They're not characters.
Okay,
they're gentlemen.
Right. Yeah, thank you very much. Mr. Olumide Akpata, as a former NBA president, ought to know that where there is a restraining order of a court, it has to be respected. There have been plethora of authorities by the Supreme Court that when an order of a court is made, you don't have a choice other than for you to obey that order, that judgment.
Which order are you talking about here?
There is a judgment of a FCTI court by Justice Mazu against Aburi and three others, restraining them from parading themselves as national officers.
Okay, let's get this in proper context.
Yes.
Before we start shooting too fast. There were two issues concerning Aburi.
Yes.
I'm going to come to the issue of you mentioning Akpata because it's an allegation of his involvement or in anything. So let's take it in steps. There were two issues.
Yes.
First has to do with the suspension from the ward, which has been decided by the court. I think to the best of my knowledge, it goes to even Court of Appeal and setting aside that particular decision because it was when he was removed from the ward that Lamidi Apapa came to take over, saying that there shouldn't be any vacuum.
No, that was not why we came.
No, hold on.
Okay.
The premise of Lamidi Apapa taking over.
No, that was not because of the suspension.
What was the premise of the suspension? So because there are two cases,
no,
the issue of the ward and the issue of forgery of documents.
No, we were not involved in that.
Okay, which one? The
forgery was what we reported to the police. And how do we come about that? Some of our candidate names were published by INEC. They've done their first publication. During the last publication, their names were removed. We went to INEC. They now gave us the affidavit in respect of those constituencies, governor, rep, and senate. It was that affidavit that we now took to the court in line with Evidence Act. The court replied that these were forged documents. We now reported to the police. It was the manager now, DIG Kokumo. He did an excellent job. The IG now was AIG operation. Then we reported the matter, and a forensic audit was done, and they found that Abure actually forged the document. It was
who did the forensic?
The police.
Okay.
With what the court wrote back to us, then we are cleared. Then we now approach the court, because we know that from the evidence we are not protected, because you alleges must prove. Now we have alleged forgery, and the court are written back to us that this document presented by Abure to change those names, they did not emanate from that court. And let me tell you what he did. He forged the signature of that judge. He presented his own TSA account and also the commissioner for oath. They were what he presented in line with substitution rule of the Electoral Act to the INEC that, oh, this person has withdrawn and he has gone to court to do, affidavit of substitution. They were what we now took to court, and the court restrained him from parading himself pending determination of that matter before them.
Has that matter been determined?
No, it's in the Court of Appeal. So when he was restrained, it is normal, just like in Ondo State, when somebody is incapacitated, whether by reason of death or sickness.
If I understand, you got this order when in the year?
April.
Until now, it's not been determined?
Yes, it has not been determined. You know, it's not a pre-election matter. You know, when you have issue during election matter, normally court attend to most election matter. So that was why we now did what we call emergency NWC meeting. It was at that point Apapa came in, because that was the most senior deputy. And let me tell you how he also came in. When we lost our national chairman in 2021, Alhaji Salam, he was the national secretary then. I seated there, moved his motion for ascension into national chairman in Benin, Edo State, and the national secretary then.
So because we don't have the luxury of time, yes. So what you're saying now, the premise of the Apapa group still moving on with the claim over the leadership of the party is because there is a court order.
Of course, that has not been vacated.
That has not been vacated, stopping Abure from parading himself. That's one step. Which is separate from the Court of Appeal judgment that favored Abure.
Of course, that we are not a party. He himself and some ward executive. All right. You see, they have tested this matter in the Federal Court during the primaries of Imo, Kogi, and Bayelsa. Their matter was dismissed because the judge of the Federal Court said, a man had been restrained.
But how come? Anyway, let me bring in Mr. Olumide Akpata, who is an aspirant in the Edo governorship election. Mr. Olumide Akpata is also a former president of the Nigerian Bar Association. Mr. Akpata, thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Just I can't see you yet. I hope I see you in a moment. So, okay, fantastic. So I'm sure you've listened to Mr. Abayomi Arabambi. Two issues is raised so far. One is the allegation against you that you're not calling the people in Edo State to order, by implication, trying to say maybe your group was responsible for the attack on the people that we saw in that video. Second is this issue about the decision of the court. Or whether or not the Abure-led faction or led group is still in charge of the Labour Party. But he's saying that has nothing to do with the suspension from the ward. This has to do with forgery document that they got the police involved, and they got an order of court which said they should maintain status quo. So I want your take on this particular two issues that he's raised so far.
Thank you for the opportunity to chime in. I'm just stunned. You know, I'm actually shocked at how easy it is for people to just make things up and then carry on as if this fiction that they have produced is actually reality. I listened to Channels TV today, and I heard Kayode Okike-Olu on PoliticsToday, Lunchtime Politics, refer to this same assertion, and I really didn't want to believe it until I've listened again now to Mr. Arabambi, and he has repeated it, that he is disappointed at me. And you have also said that he mentions that I have refused to call my so-called men to order. I'm but one of probably 30 aspirants seeking the Labour Party ticket in Edo State. the disputes in the Labour Party predate my entry into that party. So I fail to understand why I'm being singled out by Mr. Arabambi and his co-travelers. There's really something wrong here, and I think we must get to the bottom of it. And I think he's maligning me. He has even asked that my association, the NBA, looks into my conduct. And I'm actually quite shocked at, that he would have the gall to mention that on national television. What conduct are we talking about? I'm one of 30 aspirants. I hope you know the genesis of what. I'm actually not even in Benin as we speak. I'm on break like everybody else. And the first thing we saw yesterday was the report that Labour Party has asked Akpata not to present himself as a candidate of the, as an aspirant in the Labour Party because he is a mole of Governor Obaseki. My friends and supporters were shocked by this, and everybody reached out to me, and I was worried myself when I saw the headline. I reached out to the Labour Party in Edo State, and they said nothing of the sort. And when I opened the article, I realized that it was Mr. Arabambi and his colleagues who issued that statement. They actually issued a 20-paragraph document that purported to detail what their plans are for elections in Edo State. And in paragraph 19, they actually singled me out for all the aspirants to say, don't show yourself, don't present yourself in Labour Party because you are a mole of Governor Obaseki. And they actually, Mr. Arabambi in the studio there with you, actually signed that document. And it is in the public domain. And I'm sitting here on my own and I'm wondering what exactly is going on. And then he comes on national television to insinuate that whatever melee happened in Benin and the fight between two factions, everybody knows that these two groups have been locked in some kind of tussle, even before I decided to join the party.
Mr. Akpata, if I may, just a bit, why do you think he's just picking you out of the 30 Labour Party aspirants? Why do you think it is used, he's pointing out?
Look, my brother, my guess or your guess is as good as mine. I am actually in shock. I'm befuddled because I looked at the document. I read the guidelines, the purported guidelines or timetable or whatever it is they call it. And I looked at paragraph 19 and I'm like, I wondered to myself, what exactly is going on here? Is this a case of giving a dog a bad name to hang it? What exactly is happening? What is Arabambi and his co-travelers, what exactly are they trying to achieve?
Okay, Mr. Akpata, let me come back to Mr. Arabambi.
Can I finish? Can I finish?
Just 30 seconds time.
No, please. I received on my phone today a text from somebody purporting to be from the Apapa faction, asking me to come and talk to them in view of my ambition in Edo State. Listen, I'm an officer of the law, the courts, an officer in the Temple of Justice. Look, basic law, basic elementary law tells you when a matter is sub judice, you don't get involved. These matters are before the courts of the land. We who are members of the Labour Party, particularly those of us who are aspiring to run for the office of governor on the Labour Party platform.
Okay, Mr. Akpata, I'm so sorry. I will have to butt in because of time. We don't have the luxury of time. Let me come to you. So taking from, he's worried that you're picking on him or your group is picking on him. So exactly why is that? And where does this lead the Labour Party as they go into the election? Looks like a divided house.
Well, thank you. Just like I said, he's aware, but he tried to dodge that question. The 20 buses he bought, the people he gave them to, as local government chairman or Abuja faction, they were all there today. Imagine people that want to govern a state, you will hold a stone and be eating somebody's head, and yet these are the people he's paraded, these are the people he gave buses to. We know ourselves there. We are still going to report, we are still going to write the 5%. We know all of them. You understand? These are the people he just donated buses to. 18 buses to. And here, he will now come and be telling you that he's not aware. He's aware, but our point is this. As a lawyer, as a former MPA president, he's aware that Supreme Court said, when an order of a court is made, it must be obeyed. You knew this man had been restrained, yet you took all your arsenal, to him. But let me be very open why we said for Governor Obaseki. We knew Abure right from inception. In the local government election, None of our candidates featured. They collected money, Edo Commission collected money, they were not featured. But in the general election, I challenge Abure, I challenge Governor Basaki to tell us every of the assembly candidates, he paid 2 million to them, they are not a member.
That's an allegation you need to substantiate. So
of course, I said.
No.
I was part of the meeting.
Hold on, if you don't have.
No, I know, I was part of the meeting.
Hold on, if you don't have evidence, I was
with Abure. I was Abure in Benin.
So those are strong allegations.
No, I said I was Abure in Benin when one of our president candidates came to pay 35 million. That was in 2022 to run against Peter Obi. It was on that night, that we had a meeting, that I now got to know that, he had been on parole.
Okay, let me.
It's a fact, I was there.
So, okay, still an allegation, so that we'll follow this through at the end of the day. Mr. Akpata, just a quick last word on this one. I've seen as one of his grievances is the fact that if you say the court is still deciding on which side this belongs, probably they are saying, by choosing to support a particular group, you've already taken side. I don't know whether you see what they are saying here.
First and foremost, I must tell you that this is utterly disgraceful, that on national television you allow an individual spew forth such allegations,
I'm just saying so that you have a right to reply and say, yes. I'm just saying what he said.
That's why I'm replying now, right?
Okay.
I'm replying firstly to say this gentleman has insinuated that I am behind the attacks that took place in Benin.
Which is why you're here to answer.
Which is what I want to answer, which is I have told you that it's ridiculous. And I wonder why he has singled me out. Then secondly, when you say taking sides, nature abhors a vacuum. There cannot be any vacuum. As far as we know, I am one of 28 or so aspirants. The Labour Party in Edo State, its secretariat is on Ogbelaka Street in Benin. That is where we have gone to express interest to participate in the governorship election. We cannot, because matters are in court, we will not go to the Labour Party secretariat that we know, that we see. If a court of the land comes today to declare that party secretariat is illegal, of course we will not go there.
Okay.
We have to go to the secretariat that we know and that we see. That is one issue. I must tell you, we must refer to the issue that has been raised by Arabambi on your station this evening. It is ridiculous for him to say, I did not give... No, you need to hear me out.
No, because we don't... Go ahead, just 10 seconds, we don't have time anymore.
I did not give bosses to any individual. I gave bosses to Labour Party in Edo State. So what is he talking about?
All right, Mr. Akpata, thank you so much. Look, the truth is that this conversation of the Labour Party in Edo State cannot be exhausted on this particular show. So we will have to visit this issue again so that everybody will ventilate their thoughts and speak their mind. Our job is just to provide a platform for this conversation to go on so that the audience will be able to make for themselves what is going on in the Labour Party. I must thank you, former NBA president and a governorship aspirant in the Edo State under the Labour Party, Mr. Olumide Akpata. Thank you so much for coming on the program. Also, Mr. Abayomi Arabambi of the Lamidi Apapa group of the Labour Party. Thank you so much for coming on the program as well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time and, of course, your usual company. I did say this is the last edition of the program for the year. Thank you so much. On behalf of your regular host, Shenwo Kimbaloye, I am Jeffrey Uzama. Thank you for watching. Good night and God bless Nigeria. See you in January.